What a wonderful, beautiful day it is right here at CBS Studios. We are glad that we woke up just to bring you this show. And by the way, do you know this show has a team that makes sure that we have it every single day, starting with our fabulous cameraman Ahmed, who is always behind the scene. While in the studio we have Felix Aloice. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm also happy that I'm also on the scene, or in the scene.
Yeah. And do you know, today's show is all about refugees. You know, there are different reasons why refugees leave their country of birth and go to seek help in another country. Well, 4 people will be imprisoned because they left food and water at a desert in Arizona. Yeah,
Right.
They left the food and water so that the immigrants who ran away from their country trying to get into the US can get the food and water. And according to the law, it is illegal to do that.
That is according to the law. Yeah. And these laws are written by men. You know, I always say we have the laws, but over the laws, we have Allah, who is God. And just after God, we have what you call common sense. You know, I was looking at that story and I was like, why should they be? In fact, they are just volunteers, right?
Yeah.
They are volunteers only. They are like, you see, in the same Arizona desert, people have been dying.
Yeah.
So does this law encourage people to die? I've just been asking myself, because these are the immigrants when they are getting through that desert, there are most of them who lose their life. These guys, out of the common sense and by the love that they have, they left the food. But again, I was wondering, what could cause them to be imprisoned?
Well, actually, they are being imprisoned because they illegally trespassed through that area, and they even drove a motorcycle in there. That is illegal. Why were they trespassing into that area?
Now, is that area out of bounds?
Yes.
That's the first question. Why?
Because it's an area where security is always on the watch, and I think maybe it might be a no man's land or something like that, and also it's conserved for wildlife. So why did they trespass? And did they ask permission, first of all, even if they were volunteers? Who gave them the orders? Who gave them the permission to trespass?
I like being fair, being very sincere, Wangui.
Yeah.
These guys, they were 4. You're telling me that you have security guards over there. The place, and they're using motorbikes, right?
Motor vehicles.
Motor vehicles.
Yeah.
Were the motor vehicles silenced? No. Were the security on watch? Yes. When the security wait for them to go, drop the food, and when they were coming back, get arrested. You know, sometimes, you know, it's good to prevent something than let it happen. If I'm one of them, I'll accuse the security people even of making me trespass it. Because I'll be like, you are there, you watch me going. If you know it's illegal for me to go there, why did you allow me to go inside there? The second thing, you're making me to undergo something that is out of my consent. I'm trying to help because people are dying. So better I leave the food there. When people are crossing, they have the food they eat. When they come to the other side, you arrest them when they're good. Then you going, picking up cups of people who is dead ongoing.
Well, in the recent years, immigrants have died in this area trying to cross over to the United States. But giving them food is encouraging them. Like, guess what, guys? Just go ahead, attempt to cross over. We'll be having food and water for you to give you the energy to continue with the journey and cross over to the United States.
If you're given a chance to save a life and given a chance to let a life save itself, which one will you do? This is it.
Well, I'm human, yes.
Yes, thank you.
But still...
Which one will you prefer?
For me, I think it's good to follow the law.
Come on, I'm going to answer my question. Don't try to push around the
Yeah.
Which one will you prefer first?
Okay, of course, saving a life will always come first.
Now explain.
But
justify your
what are the
answer.
consequences of feeding these people who, first of all, did a wrong thing? They should have known that what is ahead of us is a risky area. We will not have food and water. We might die along the way. Why did they take that decision to go into the wilderness without water and food in the first place? Therefore, they are on the wrong, and you are encouraging these people to do a wrong thing.
Don't get me out of the context. I'm not encouraging. What I'm saying is, do you know what refugees undergo?
Yeah. Refugees, they do not leave their country for no reason. Probably they are escaping maybe ethnic wars, or maybe they are being persecuted by their religions, poverty, disease, and such stuff.
So once a refugee has jetted into a country, will you allow the same person to undergo victimization or being treated in an unfair way?
You know, we need to have order. Like, how are these people coming into the country? No country wants to have refugees, to be honest. And nobody should live a life of a refugee. So I think the main thing here is to solve the problem. Like, these countries need to solve their own problems.
Yeah, solving the problem is not by taking these guys who are trying to help maybe a little kid whose the decision of the parent makes them to undergo torture. Okay, the best way is, I heard about the Trump wall, trying to build the wall.
Yeah, Trump is really serious about this $5 billion+ wall.
Exactly. So let them have a good relationship with the other country. Don't allow people sneak out of your country. And then remember, this was no man's land. Is it a no man's land?
No, it's not a no man's land. I think it's an area that's under conservation for wildlife and something like that.
A desert.
Yeah.
A desert. Which means you have people who are operating this border.
Yes.
Where are they?
Well, immigrants are sneaky people. You see the way they even cross over the Atlantic Ocean. Like, recently I saw there are these immigrants who lost their lives when they were attempting to cross over from Tripoli across the ocean in a boat, and they lost their lives. And they have heard of these stories thousands and thousands of times, that people die when they attempt to do this. But they still go ahead. And I'm very sure there are security who are trying to man the areas along the sea so that they don't attempt. But they always find their way, and they do it.
How do they find their way?
It's illegal.
It's illegal, yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if I've put a tight security on my border, if I find somebody has found his way inside my territory, I won't blame the person. I'll blame the person who have kept him there to keep watch. Because they automatically know. I'm going to tell you something, nothing happens in a flash. No. There's somebody who has facilitated. How can an immigrant go all the way through the Red Sea or through the sea and ocean to other country? There's somebody who has facilitated. So let the government first work on those people. And those people, I'm sure they're well known, even with the government. They're well known Wangui. So, you know, once you've eradicated the process, then you've already eradicated the immigration. But what happens is the government and security officers, they tend to press and pin on the migrants. We're forgetting there's somebody who facilitated. I cannot swim across the Red Sea. That's a lie. So I used somebody's vessel. I cannot just cross up to the border. That's a lie, because of security, which means there's somebody in the security sector whom I know facilitated me.
Do you think we need to increase the number of security forces manning the borders? Or should we have a wall, like Trump is wanting? Like, Trump is so serious about this wall, because I think the wall will solve the problem in a way.
Building a wall, not building a wall, increasing security in the border, not increasing, doesn't solve anything. What you need is a well-strategized countries which are equal to each and every citizen and provide equal measures without looking at your background, without looking at your status, without looking at either you're a male or a female. status that in a country that are equal, that let's have peace in each country. Let each country use the available resources to increase the GDP or to reduce the GDP, depending on what you want.
But do you think the immigrants will be that patient to wait? Because they're suffering.
They are. Well, let me tell you something. I can get out of this show because you're not equal to me. But I can stay in this show because we're having a good relation with you. The same thing with the country. I've been seeing the immigrants crying that you are treated unfairly. We are treated in a wrong way. How? I cannot flee a place where it's conducive and peaceful for me. I cannot, because that is my treasure. That's what I need to conserve. But I cannot stay in a place where there's war every day, where my family is crying, where there's no food.
Yeah.
Why is it not? Why are people not fleeing away from US? Just an example.
Because we branded the United States to look like it's a good place. Like, the United States is so good at branding. So everybody thinks that if I go to the United States, my life will be perfect.
No. Let me get to another place again. Let me take you to East Africa, Tanzania. Where are people not fleeing Tanzania?
Because maybe there's not what they want there. Like maybe the economy is not as good as another country of their preference.
But you don't get somebody running away from Tanzania.
But Tanzania has hosted lots and lots of refugees.
It has hosted. I'm talking about somebody fleeing away from Tanzania. It's very rare. Why? Because there's peace. There's food. There's equal rights and justice. There's democracy. Are we together? And if each country can have all these, let me tell you, all these issues of immigrants happening in Africa and in the world will not have. We will not be treating other people unfairly. In fact, it's wrong even in front of God. Human beings should be treated in a way. First of all, let the government listen to the migrants. What are they saying? After that, get you to talk to the president of the so-called country. Why are you having this in your country? Let's solve this. But the issue of treating immigrants, these four guys, they're just trying to help.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they might be in jail for 6 months.
Unfortunately.
Because they were so caring. And they decided to feed immigrants.
Let me tell you, God is not a slave.
Anyway, just recently, by the way, there was this story I read about, like they had these Rohingya refugees in Saudi Arabia, and they're going to be deported. They're going to be deported back to Bangladesh, and immediately they arrive, they might be imprisoned. So you are an immigrant living in a country, the country does not want you, they send you back to your country, and then on arrival you are arrested.
That's what I'm saying. For Africa and for each and every nation to rise up, let's first value our own citizens. That is full stop, Wangui. If we want our people to be in peace with us, if you want your neighbor and your brother to be in peace with you, Wangui, you have to value him or her. You can imagine I'm fleeing away from the disastrous conditions that I have in my country. I go to another country. When they bring me back, yes, we have laws and regulation, but I am a person who is of your country. And then you take me, imprison me, will I ever forgive you? And I forgive you. Even if I serve 1 year in jail and then come back of jail, I'll still find a way of getting out of this country because it doesn't care for me. So let's do it, Wangui.
Would you rather be free in your own country or be a refugee in a good country?
I better be a refugee in a good country that I have peace, I can sleep and wake up, I can have water to drink. Then be in a country where our leaders are selfless, our leaders are intimidating, our leaders have no democracy, our leaders don't care about the poverty line of the other people. Our leaders just think about feeding their own self and their family. Our leaders were just thinking about eradicating anyone who comes and brings something good to their country. Exactly. For example, let me give an example. Will you rather stay in if you have a family,
Yeah.
this is very realistic. You have people in their family who have a problem with their brothers and sisters. Do you stay with them? No. You always find a way and even buy maybe a land far away from them. Why? Because you need your peace.
Yeah.
That is it, Wangui. Because I need my peace.
Well, let me tell you, being a refugee, you have no peace. First of all, you won't have any documents. You might not even be able to work in that country because maybe you don't have a work permit. Then you will have to live in a constrained area, like in a camp or something like that.
I better live in a camp, but in a peaceful way.
Well, let's take a look at this video that was posted on Twitter about a Somali guy who's trying to tell people what they are going through as refugees. Take a look.
And that's what keeps me up at night. Will I spend the next 20 in the camp? Will my brothers and sisters, will they have a chance to have a home, to own a document, to have a sense of belonging and identity? And I don't see that people don't talk about those things, in a global stage, and I don't hear those conversations. People would rather pretend that we don't exist. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for equal opportunity, to be given the tools that I need to thrive and to make a life for myself.
Well, this guy is saying that they do not have documents. You see?
You see, this guy, he even shed a tear. He says, I'm not asking for much.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going. I've come back to our country, being deported. What I'm telling the government is I'm not asking for much. What I'm asking is to be given the opportunity and a chance to live as a normal citizen in my country. Not that every time I lie, I'm awake. You see, even he's saying this keeps me awake each and every night, knowing that there's a family. Which means, you can imagine you are in your own country, in your own house, but you have no peace. You're always awake every night thinking who is coming to attack me, guarding your family. And it's your own country. Then where should I go? So let us not blame the refugees. They are very right. They are very right, Wangui. You can imagine the pain.
Yeah, this guy looks like he's speaking with so much pain in him.
For it, I feel him. I feel him. Let each and every leader in each and every country, let me tell you, each and every country has the resources and they have the power. They have the army, they have the constitution of China. Let them respect them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, but let's treat the refugees in an equal way. Not about even the refugees. Let us first respect the people in the country. If my own family, it also starts in your family. If you're selfless to your own family, your neighbors will never love you. They will flee away from you. You might think you're okay, but in a real sense, you're just a threat and danger to us. Yeah.
Well, out of this story now, it's become too much. Like, I'm starting to feel sad already.
I think now you're now back to my other side of the coin.
Well, there's this family that was on a visit to New Zealand. They were touring New Zealand. And actually, they were a very terrible family as tourists in New Zealand. It went viral on social media that these guys need to go. Why? Because they were leaving the beach dirty, like they leave rubbish on the beach. They even poured some chips on a tourist's blanket on the beach. They stole a Christmas tree from a gas station. They even went into a restaurant and did a lot of damage, like they're pouring food on the floor. How do you go into someone else's country as a tourist and then you do not even respect the place you're in? We as tourists need to think you are not there to enjoy at the expense of other people's comfort. Yeah.
You're right. But what I'll say is this, I'm not going to be, I'm not defending them, but I'll give out this quote that whatever you do really describes who you are in your brain and your heart. Dressing well in a good job, very nice, the way you look very nicely. Yes, you're good, you look healthy, but what are your acts? Your acts portrays who you are. These guys, they are tourists
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, by the way, we love tourists because they really they increase the revenue of the country, which is good. But once you become indecent, you become destroying our place. But they were sent to you very fast, very sincere. I don't like that. I don't like finding my place which is so clean and then you come and just do your own rubbish thing. God, I'll send you away.
When you go to the coastal towns of Kenya, you know, tourists really love going to Mombasa for holidays because of the beautiful white beaches and the nice warm climate around there. And the people there sometimes get annoyed when tourists think that because it's hot, so it's okay to walk almost half naked on the streets. And not once, like I have gone there and I've seen like tourists will be walking even on the streets like butt naked. Like, yeah, like you need to respect people's culture also when you go to some places.
Let me not get into it deeply because of my faith. Let me not get into it deeply. But indecently dressing is next to godliness. If you cannot dress well and respect the society and respect the people around you and respect my culture and respect what you believe in, then you are no longer welcome to my place because you are destroying my peace. Leave alone Kenya. Just our neighbor here, Tanzania. I've been in Tanzania in the coastal region of them. Yeah, they're good, they're awesome. You know, first thing is, you have people in that area who think that's okay. Yeah, they walk okay and everything. But you cannot bring that one the exact way you bring it to Uganda. My friend, I slap you. What are you doing? That's not what we like. You know, you have your own way of expression and having fun. But remember, where you're going, do they really accommodate that? Do they? If they don't accommodate, then you should stick to their meshes and know, this is what I do, but again, here, I have to do this way. Okay? There's people who says if you go to the Romans, you do what the Romans do, something like that.
Yeah. Well, New Zealand is a very beautiful place.
It is.
And by the way, by the last year, 2018 October, they had received a lot of tourists, like a record of about 3.8 million tourists. And every year you'll see tourists flocking and going to New Zealand because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to be. And this family was eventually deported because of their disturbances and their misbehavior. Yeah.
Of course, I also do that. The same way if you have a visitor in the house who does not respect your privacy, who just makes the house dirty and comfortable. You know, I just find an excuse of telling him, you know what, I'll be traveling tomorrow at 6. You know,
like just get out of here. You need to find somewhere else to go. Have you ever had an experience of an annoying visitor?
Not even a visitor, visitors. Let me be specific. Not just a visitor, visitors. You have people who are annoying. I remember I used to stay with a friend of mine. I had accommodated him in my house. Then, so to say, it was very awkward because I had gone for an official work a trip somewhere for a week. So, you know, when he's with me, he's like, everything's okay. So when I went for a week, and I had told him that I knew, I'm not saying I lied, I knew we'd be back by the next week on a Friday. Unfortunately, we did everything. By Wednesday we were done. So on Wednesday, I didn't tell him I'm coming because, you know, it's my house. Should I tell you I'm coming or not? Even I didn't think like something bad can happen. Only to come and be surprised to myself. I was surprised. I was like, first thing before I even go to the house, I heard loud music. I was like, wow, I think this guy is just having a wonderful time himself. At least relaxing in the house. I was like, cool, no problem. Having music is okay. Coming next to the door, there's a strange smell that hit me. I was like, what is this? What's happening? So, you know, something funny with the house loud music, you cannot hear who is where doing what. And knock, no one was open. So I opened the door just to get in and find there was a big party of people I don't know, and the floor is
Like he
messy.
invited people that you do not know, like this is his house, and they cook and they use your dishes and they have fun, play music.
Cooking have no problem. Cooking is okay.
Yeah.
Having fun is
No, cooking
okay.
is also not okay. You know why? Probably you had done your shopping and you knew that this budget will last me for a month.
Okay, let me see. I have no problem of visitors coming and eating in the house. I have no problem. I have no problem of people preparing food even in their house, because in my house I'm very free. You come, you want to cook something, okay, go ahead and cook. It's okay. But what I'm talking is the indecent acts that were happening. I had no problem with the food, with the music, with they're having fun. No. The problem is what they were using and the way they were behaving and how they had spilled, sorry to say, I don't want to say this word, but alcohol in the floor. I was like, hey guys, I think you've had enough fun for 4 or 5 days when I was not here.
Yeah.
I think it's time to get out.
Like you told them to get out, like.
I was very sincere.
Oh, and did the friendship last after that? Like, are you still friends?
I'm a person who is very, maybe not well understood, but understood correctly.
Yeah.
I told them all, everyone relax, they all relaxed, switched off the music. I was like, thank you guys for what you've done. I'm very appreciative for what you've done.
Yeah.
One thing I'll tell you is, if you think doing this every day will help you, continue, but not in this house. If you think the way you behave and drinking all these illicit things will help you in life, okay, continue, but not in this life, but not in this house. And next time I hear any of you having a problem with your body having disease, never call me. I tell them to get out. I remember the friend, I gave him a lecture. I told you know what, I'll tell you the reality. You better have informed me. I would have even tried to find a place for you to go and do all this, but not in my house. Respect my decision and my virtues. You know,
Yeah.
if not that, let me tell you, my friendship with you will never ever elongate to another extent. I told him, he got angry, you know, talking to me like that. I was like, yes, I can do it 100 times because I want you to be another person whom somebody can at least emulate. He was angry, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? It was around 10 p.m. Get out of my house.
Oh.
By the way, I threw him out. He went, I don't care. When he went after some 5 hours, I called him. It was around, I think, 11, 12. So where are you? Have you got any house? Because I'm a person who's like, I'll tell you the
But you
reality.
still felt sad that you chased him away, and you
didn't feel
cared,
sad.
like, where will he go at that time?
I didn't feel sad.
Yeah.
I felt very proud of myself because I've spoken to him the reality. That wherever he is, he's like, by the way, I think that's the reality and that's the truth. After that, I called him. Have you found a house to sleep? He's like, no, I'm still good. I'm sending you some amount to go find a guest room. After that, in the morning, I called him, come have some tea. Again, lectured him. I told him, right now we are the most best friends ever because he reformed and he's a nice person. And that is the way to do it in human life. If you leave your friend to do things that are not good and you just start looking at them, it will all come back to you.
Well, we need to be aware that there are rules and there are boundaries wherever we are, whether it's a new country, whether it's someone who has invited us to visit them. Like, we don't just misbehave just because it's not our own place. I wonder, like, how would this family feel if someone came to their own house and stole their Christmas tree? How would they feel if they had a visitor who came and threw rubbish on the floor and destroyed their kitchen and their cleanliness? Well,
And you know that you have some feelings. You've had one person, right, who has done that to you.
no, not really, not really. Yeah, that's the end of our show, and let's all think about taking care of other people's premises when we visit other people's countries. Let us always respect them,
Not even
their
respect.
culture,
And
their
also
environment.
please touch on the immigrants. I want them to be respected, to be valued,
Yeah.
to be given equal rights and justice, not only to the foreign country, but also to their own country. Because
Yeah.
it all starts at home.
Yes,
Yeah.
charity begins at home. That's what they say.
And it ends still at home.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of our show. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.